Ever since I was a kid, my mother has always had me watching Disney movies. Thankfully, I love them. Since I was a baby, I loved the movie The Lion King. I was in awe with the sunrises and the savannah depicted, along with all of the talking animals, of course. It was entertaining as hell to me as a child. As I grew up, my love for Disney movies and such as well as I grew up as well. My mother started saving up. And when my sister was 4 and I was about 6, we were going to Disney World. My father had been scared of flying, and he didn't come with us. Rather, my grandmother, my aunt, and her 3 daughters came along for the trip. We hit the airport. At the time, my mother had just gotten over her first surgery from stomach cancer, and all the kids had to help her with all of her bags, as she had no stomach muscle. Me and my cousin Brittany shoved, flipped, and finessed all the bags, which were as big, if not bigger than us, onto the cot. We had to do this both on and off of the plane, to Boston and to Orlando, and then back to Boston again. I imagine it must have been quite a sight for everyone at the airport to see these 3-foot or so tall kids flipping bags around, standing on the top of them, as if this was like a massive ship or something. The next few days, we explored a magical land of which I had never known before, called Walt Disney's World. We sought out every last inch of this continent. We stopped in the Animal Kingdom, which was full of tons of close encounters with live animals, as well as some of the dinosaur rides and fossil digs. We even saw a live performance of The Lion King here. The next stop was Disney's Epcot, in which we helped Kim Possible on her journey around the whole world. We enjoyed food from our homeland, Italy, as well as a river ride in Norway and a stroll through Japan, China, Canada, the United States, Africa, and even Mexico. Once we finished our expedition at Epcot, we walked to what appeared to be a train station. We took this magical speedway train, which didn't have any wheels but glided over one beam known as a monorail. I had never seen a train before like this. All I had known before was the MBTA, screeching, beeping, next stop, Maverick Station. But this was quick and quite. The typical shape of the buses were not like these. We took this train to another station, where they had buses. This, I didn't know, but this was the transportation center, where we boarded a bus. This journey felt as long as the ride on the plane that we had taken a few days earlier. I couldn't wait until we were finally at the next destination so we could finally just get off and run around again. Our destination was Disney's Hollywood Studios, which at the time was called MGM Studios. You know, the company with the lion at the beginning of the movies roaring. Here we toured with Aerosmith and free fell from the highest tower through the Twilight Zone and back into reality for the first time ever. This is also the first time that I'd ever been on a upside-down roller coaster. We had to stuff so much mulch in my shoes so that I could pass the height of 4 feet tall so that I could ride with everyone else. It was an intense experience. We flew freaking over 1,000 miles, twisting and flipping every which way, with the sound of Aerosmith's Golden Tracks in the background, chanting hymns of sweet emotion and walked this way. Even though I had no clue who the hell these Aerosmith people were, I loved it. Right next to this crazy ride was an even crazier ride, as my aunt said, but it was just a huge hotel to me, or so I thought. Me having no idea, I just walked right onto the ride. I finally put 2 and 2 together once it was just a little too late. We were all getting strapped into what looked like an elevator, a really old elevator, with chairs for comfort inside. As one of the oddly dressed employees closed the doors behind him, I could feel the tension in the air. There was a pit of emptiness in this elevator. We were rising. I didn't know which floor we were going to or where we were even going, but then we stopped. Doors opened, and the elevator pushed forward, which was very unusual for an elevator to do. We watched what appeared to be a family of ghosts getting electrocuted in another elevator in front of us. Then the sound of glass breaking, and then we dropped. A feeling I had never felt before in my life. I felt like my insides were rising out of my body. I felt like I was floating, and then stopped short. We jerked back up several stories. We dropped back down again. This time slowly lowering down, and then finally it stopped, and the goddamn big steel doors opened up, and it was that weird worker congratulating us on our venture into the Twilight Zone. After diving into the Twilight Zone and rocking with the greatest band of all time, we called it a night and went back to the house. When we awoke in the morning, we hit the ground running. The one and only stop today was Disney's Magic Kingdom. We entered through the massive gates and saw another train, this time a steamroller, the trains that we typically would see. We walked down Main Street, USA, and I was just bouncing with joy. All I could smell was the delicious smell of the ice cream, the candy store fronts, the cinnamon churros, even the fried turkey legs. It smelled like heaven to me. As I turned around, there was an immense towering castle, of which was suited for the king and queen of Disney, I felt, but really belonged to none other than Cinderella herself and Prince Charming. The castle was glistening. It looked unreal, magical to say the least, if words could even describe it. Here in the magical kingdom of Disneyland, we plundered with pirates, flew with Dumbo, chatted with the birds in the tiki room, and so much more. It was an amazing week. We had met Mickey Mouse and his whole gang, and all the other characters, including the princesses and even Peter Pan and Tinkerbell. I had felt as if I was on another planet, and at the time, this place had completely separated me from all my problems outside of the regular world. I compare it to how art works for me today, as an outlet to unplug from reality. This was exactly what Disney had done for me at the time, and still does today. As before this, the whole family was so worked up, including myself, over my mother having cancer and my older brother getting taken away from us, that we really needed this vacation. It was really nice to just forget everything that was going on and just live, laugh, and love to be with one another. It was nice to live the fairy tales out as we would see them in the movies or in the books that we all adore for about only a week or so, and to live life like it is Once Upon a Star.